Hello. I will begin the ceremony by lighting the candle of knowledge. Good evening. My name is Isabel Shahowski, and I am the president of Alden's chapter of the National Honor Society. On behalf of the club and our advisor, I am pleased to welcome family, friends, faculty, board members, and administrators to the 2022 National Honor Society induction ceremony. Let us honor our country by standing and reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may blow out your candles. Please welcome our principal, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Izzy. Good evening. Parents, family members, friends, faculty and staff, current NHS members, and of course, soon to be inducted members of the National Honor Society. Welcome to one of the best events of our school year. On behalf of Mr. McCowan, myself, and the entire Alden High School community, we are honored to have everyone here in person this evening to celebrate the scholarship, leadership, service, and character that this group of 23 young individuals has demonstrated and continues to demonstrate. When I met with this applicant group, I talked to them about how they were all there because they had met the threshold for academic achievement. They were eligible to apply. But I also shared that their more intangible skills and traits, those of leadership, character, and service, would also be measured, if you will, as part of the induction process. Certainly, credit is due to these amazing young people before you on stage for the choices they make and the actions they take daily. Credit is also due, however, to the parents and families of these individuals. Thank you for nurturing in them the many qualities and skills that will help them to be successful and happy in the 21st century. And let me also say this. In addition to the traits of leadership, character, and service, let us also add resilience. Think about, for a moment, the juniors up on stage this evening have had a very different experience of high school to date. They have encountered many challenges since they walked through these doors, but they have acquitted themselves well. Not only have they endured, but they have flourished. And I have no doubt that in the long run, the resiliency they exude will serve them well for the rest of their lives. Congratulations to the soon-to-be newly inducted members of the Alden chapter of the National Honor Society. Thank you. Now it is also my distinct pleasure to introduce the keynote speaker this evening. Ms. Paige Zepka is a 2017 Alden High School graduate and former National Honor Society member. Throughout high school, Ms. Zepka was actively involved in peer wellness, the theater department, choir, and Wax News. Upon graduating from Alden, Ms. Zepka attended the State University of New York at Fredonia, where she pursued degrees in English, adolescence education, and psychology. After graduating from Fredonia, Ms. Zepka decided to relocate back to Alden and has begun teaching English here at the high school. Ms. Zepka remains involved with the theater department and is co-directing the fall play, Our Town, with Mr. Dabkowski. Ms. Zepka is elated to be part of the Alden Bulldog family once again. And I can tell you, I knew back in 2017 and maybe a little earlier that Paige was considering a career in education. And I couldn't be more happy for this school community to welcome Paige back as a member of our faculty. Please give a warm welcome home, welcome back to Miss Paige Zepka.
Good evening, everyone. As you heard, my name is Paige Zepka, and I'm an English teacher here at the high school. As you've just learned, I'm also a 2017 graduate from Alden, and at one point was the National Honor Society Secretary. I'm incredibly honored to be here with all of you this evening as we congratulate our soon-to-be newly inducted members of the National Honor Society and continue to celebrate the accomplishments of our senior members. I remember walking in on the first day of this school year, feeling as if I was a freshman all over again. The uncertainty of how my students would react to my classroom and teaching styles scared me beyond belief. Would my students make fun of my hair in a claw clip, or decide that it was weird that I decided to pair a dress with my high-top Converse? What if I got to the front of the classroom and completely forgot what I had planned? Seriously, the nerves were at an all-time high. However, when I was greeted by so many welcoming students, my worries were instantly put to rest. I firmly believe that so much of the positive energy that circulates our school is student-driven. The students that sit here on stage beside me this evening are the leaders in this building that promote that type of environment. Without all of you as outstanding role models, the energy in this building would no doubt be different. Though I don't know every single one of you personally, I recognize so many of your faces from walking around the halls and standing outside of my classroom. The students at this school are warm and open-hearted, and it is such a gift to be able to work with them each and every day. NHS has 4 pillars for a reason, and they are all equally important. You're sitting on this stage tonight not only because of your academic success, leadership abilities, or your commitment to service. You're also sitting on this stage tonight because you are good humans, whose hearts are in the right place, who spread kindness and acceptance and support for one another. And while having a good character may not be as tangible as the other 3 pillars, it shouldn't go without recognition. Now, I'd like to share a few words of advice, which I hope will be somewhat relevant to all of you, seeing as I was in your spot not too long ago. I remember sitting through my NHS induction, thinking to myself, why am I here? What does it mean to be a part of this organization in the long run? I mean, I knew I'd get to sit towards the front at graduation, and I'd get to wear the fancy stole, but other than that, I really wasn't sure what I would be getting out of joining this group. And whether you realize it yet or not, there are truly some incredible things that come from being a member of NHS. You are provided with so many chances to try new things, and if you're lucky, you may end up finding some of your biggest passions along the way. For me, I was able to volunteer to teach at my dance studio, which led me to find a passion for teaching and helping others learn. NHS presented me with a chance to step into a leadership position, which in turn led me to find my future career path. Now, this isn't to say that all of you will find your long-term passion from joining NHS, because I cannot promise that. But what I can promise you is that if you take advantage of the opportunities and experiences that NHS presents you, you will grow as a leader, a learner, and as a human being. In today's world, we are always focusing on what comes next. What are my plans for next weekend? When does the next episode come out? How many days until the next Bills game? Do any of those phrases sound familiar? I know that I'm constantly thinking about the future. And in today's world, we are encouraged to think about the next several steps before even completing the step that we're on. I remember worrying a great deal about my future goals and responsibilities when I was in high school, and looking back, I wish I had remained more present. Instead of enjoying the process and appreciating where I was during any given moment, I was often more concerned about getting ahead and checking things off my list. I enjoyed what I was doing, of course, but I don't know that I was always physically and mentally aware. Now, you might be thinking, oh, right, you want us to be leaders of our school, active in our community, maintain good grades, and also be present throughout all of this. And please know, my intent is not to add something onto your plate. Rather, it's to challenge you to adjust your perspective when you get into those periods of busyness and stress. This can be done by saying things like, I get to be a part of this group, or I'm lucky that I can volunteer my time. That sounds a little ridiculous at first, but trust me, verbalizing those ideas does wonders to help improve your perspective. I don't wish that all of you adopt the mindset of toxic positivity either, but I do hope that you're able to spend more time appreciating the experiences that NHS, this school, and this town presents you before you move on from here. So if you're in my class or work with me during the play, you know that I have adopted the you rock mentality. What I mean by that is quite simple. Everyone in this room today rocks, meaning you're awesome, you're valuable, you matter. The key to this mentality is understanding that nothing you do or don't do can lessen your value. If you forget your homework one day, that's okay, you still rock. If you spill your coffee all over your shirt, that really stinks. But guess what? You rock. If you're having a really hard time with some personal issues, at the end of the day, you rock. You matter. You are enough. Again, a little bit of a gimmick, but I want you all to remember that you have value just as you are. Not just because you're in NHS, or because you're in 3 different sports, or because you're in 6 different clubs. You all have value because you are yourselves, and that is enough. I try to remind my students before the end of every class or rehearsal that they rock, no matter how our session went, because they are all valuable and important individuals, no matter what they were or weren't able to do that day. It's so easy to get caught up in all of the excitement that is high school, but I encourage you to please remember that you are more than what you produce. You are some of Alden's strongest leaders and students, but remember that you are all humans too. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to mess up. No one is perfect. Give yourselves the grace and credit that you all deserve. As I mentioned before, NHS has 4 pillars of equal importance, and character is one of them. Being a good person, as you all are, is significant. Don't forget that. So while you continue to hold yourselves to high expectations and take part in a variety of opportunities, remember that taking breaks, asking for help, and occasionally saying no isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's easy to get burned out and feel overwhelmed, especially in your junior and senior years. So allow yourself to have space and give yourself the compassion and kindness that you all so often give to others. At the end of the day, you're all making a difference. I hope that you continue to embrace experiences that feel right to you and remain present in them. Be proud of yourselves for the accomplishments we celebrate tonight, and remember to celebrate the little victories along the way too. If there's one thing the last few years have taught me, is that nothing is for certain. Anything at any point could change or disappear. Appreciate what you have while it's here, folks. Enjoy your time with one another and continue to be the wonderful young adults that you all are. You rock. Thank you.